Hi everyone, it's Patty. Hope you're doing good. I've been really busy the past few days. I didn't get to put a video out this last weekend, because my daughter got married. And I'm an ordained minister and I got to marry her. And so that was really special to me. And it was special to me that my son could walk my daughter down the aisle and dance with her. And it was just really a beautiful day at a beautiful place. But welcome to my new subscribers. I thank you for being here. And I want to tell everybody I really do love all your comments. And I thank you for them. And I try to respond. And if I've missed anyone, I'm sorry. I'll keep looking and I keep trying to make sure that I interact with you guys, because I really do appreciate you being here. And I appreciate your opinions about Summer Wells. I mostly talk about Summer Wells on this channel. She's been missing since June 15th. For 2 years she's been missing. She's a 5-year-old girl out of Rogersville, Tennessee. And if you know anything about what happened to her, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. She's a precious little girl, and all of us have been worried about her and wondering where she is. And, I wasn't really gonna talk about too much tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on. I seen that someone shared saying it was a possible sighting of Summer Wells, and you could tell that picture was photoshopped. I'm sorry. It looked like someone took a very old picture of Summer when she was younger and posted it, or even the milk jug photo. I don't know, but somebody copy and pasted that. And so I'm not going to get into a whole lot of, what other people are thinking or saying, because I'm just sticking to what I know. And I have my suspicions about the family. And let me tell you guys something right now. If the Wells, the parents, did not do something to Summer Wells, if they did not cause her disappearance, then somebody they know did it. And they put their daughter at risk by allowing people on their property. And Candace was supposed to be watching that baby. And she went missing on her watch. So I don't care what anybody says. Even if one of their friends, their drug addict friends, their registered sex offenders, if any of them did anything, that is their fault, because they allow those kind of people to live in their house. So, and I want to remind everybody, because I'm really mad tonight, because I was listening to Don on Miss Daisy's channel, and of course, he ticks me off so bad. And I want to discuss my reaction to her video and Don's conversation. But I want to say, I need everybody, people say, well, Don and Candace, they had happy pictures of the kids having a good time. Oh, I know. I don't doubt that whatsoever. But the problem here is people seem to forget that they've lost 7 children to the state because of abuse and neglect. And now their daughter's missing. So maybe they didn't do anything to cause Summer's disappearance, but it's probably highly likely that they are involved in some way. And I'm not accusing them. I'm just saying this is my opinion. And everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But the police would have cleared Don and Candace if they were innocent. That's all I'm saying. They would have cleared them by now. So, it's interesting that I was just going to do a video and discuss what Mary had to say to Chris and Don's drug use in his past and things like that. And and then I see that Don, excuse me. Sorry about that. My nose. And I'm coughing. I seen that Don wanted to make very terrible accusations about Mary and her family. And I want to say this. If any of these accusations are true, it goes to prove to you that Don has never tried to protect anyone in this situation. None of these victims. He didn't report any of this. And now he wants to come out and he wants to blame his sisters. You notice that this really bothers him a lot. You'll see what I mean, but this really bothers Don a lot. Not that his daughter's gone, not that Summer's missing, not that he's upset over that. No, he's upset over Mary and Trish and Jeannie, his stepsisters, for bringing out accusations. And he's very defensive because he already admitted that those things were true, that he did do that. And he said that his 5-year-old sister came on to him. So he's got a problem. So if any of these things are true, shame on him for not doing nothing about it. And shame on Don Wells that he would go and compare apples to oranges. You're going to say, well, it's okay in my behavior of SAing my half-sisters that since that other things have happened to them, since they're just as dirty, then, this thing. Sorry.
Their grandkids could be this way.
Right.
You know,
So, anyways, you guys, the thing is that Don wants to make it seem okay what he did by accusing Mary and coming out, and he wanted to do this. You know, he wanted to be vengeful, and you can tell by this video. And the reason that I'm doing this video and my reaction to it is because Daisy likes, from Crime Crazy Critters on the Farm, Miss Daisy likes to put her videos on private so nobody can look at them, or memberships only, and she also deletes videos. I feel this is very important. So I don't know who else is copying this, but I feel this is very important in case Mary and Jeannie or any of them need to use this in court, because they are, Don is victimizing his victims over and over again. Mary and Jeannie are not out. Jeannie was out like a couple times, that's it. And what he's saying about Trish is a lie. She never said she was raped 7 years. I don't believe that she said that at all. I believe that she said that Don messed with her, and that was it. I did not hear all this other stuff that he's trying to say. He's lying. Don Wells is a big fat liar. And he feels sorry for himself, and he's trying to prove to everybody that he's this innocent guy when we know better. We already know better, but I'm going to just let you listen to a little bit of this under fair use and copyright laws. This is for entertainment purposes only, and it's too bad if Daisy gets mad, because the thing is, this needs to be kept and recorded in case she tries to erase it. But I just want to talk to you, my reaction to this. Let's listen to it for a few minutes, and I'm going to give my comments. Hold on.
So when all this first happened with Summer, throughout the sleepless nights of torment, wondering where our daughter could be, I opened my very first Facebook account, and the very first lie that come out was Trish Nelson saying that I had raped her for 7 years. And probably not a lot of people know this, but that was the very first lie. And I had people coming at us left and right, people, and I didn't even, That was the very first lie that come out. She said I raped her for 7 years of her life. This would be my, like, not even my stepsister, my I don't know.
Right. So,
My step niece, I guess. But
did she have any proof or anything of that? She just.
Proof?
no, we started, probably fighting that a little bit back then, and then they just completely dropped all that and made them videos disappear and everything, and then come with all these other what you hear today, which is some truth, a lot of stretched truth, and a whole hell of a lot of lies, all combined to destroy me and my character, my good nature, and everything else. And and I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to say that I'm this horrible monster, and I've done this to my own kids. They're trying to say it about my wife and everything else, and
Right.
it's really wrong. But they don't want to talk about their own lives or what they've been through, or they protect all the things that they've done in their life. They're that.
Well, like they want.
Of course, they want to portray themselves as angels, and narcissistic behavior.
Trigger warning.
Feel better about talking about other people, and right now, I'm it, I guess, because someone took my daughter. Instead of supporting us in any way, and a lot of this stemmed from, there was a lot of kids in the step family, and everybody was trying to sway my dad, and it was about money and power. Really, honestly, that's what it comes down to. Is who's my dad helped out all the kids all he could with what money he had, and that's what it really boiled down to. I think is the help and the privilege and stuff like that. It's when you got that many kids, there's going to be, fights or whatever. I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to think about how to say it, but it's just, and I don't really want to talk about all this stuff or anything, but, and I don't want to bring up.
Okay, there's his first lie. Well, his second lie or third lie right there. I don't really want to talk about this. I don't want to bring it up, but he is dang well gonna, so that he can make up crap about Mary. And like I said, trigger warning, he's gonna talk about the R word, and he's the one that brings up all this stuff all the time. I don't know why he keeps blaming YouTubers. And Jeannie and Mary brought it up, yes. They discussed it, yes, at the beginning of this case. Jeannie was only 5 years old, and Don was 12 when he was molesting her, and he admitted to it. And he said, but he makes it sound like it was just one time, but it was throughout her whole life. And, to all of her, whole time Don was in the house. And, she was 7 years old and he was 14, and he was still coming into her bedroom every night. And she even talked about having to put on layers of clothing. She talked about all these things because she didn't want him to touch her and she didn't want him to be by her, but yet he wants to make up all these lies. But trigger warning, Don is doing this out of revenge, and he's trying to victimize his victims, and he does not show any concern for his daughter except for to complain about everybody else talking about him. And that's what Don Wells cares about.
Past and try to destroy people and this and that. But these people love that. They love that. They love to destroy people. They love to hate. And so I have to fight back.
Yeah.
They're destroying my family. They're destroying what my kids know about me and believe about me. What my boys think of me. They're destroying that image. They're destroying
his image.
our chances of ever having a life. I don't know how many jobs I've lost because of this. And it's ridiculous.
I know. And
you're going to hear Mary talk in a few minutes because I'm going to show you a different video. that Don has lost plenty of jobs. He never keeps them very long, probably because he's got these very bad drug problems, and he's had them his whole life. And he's been doing bad things his whole life. He's been in and out of prison, so most of his life. And he's even talked about it. Juvenile. He was a juvenile delinquent. He was stealing from his family. He was doing all these terrible things. So, and he even admitted to drug running, that he was a drug dealer, that he was taking drugs from state to state. He admitted that he's seen these people trafficking kids. He admitted to all these things. He even admitted that he lived with people at one time that was doing that with their kids. So he has no excuse for what's going on here. And I have a feeling this very much has to do with what happened to Summer. And that's why he wants to make sure that he keeps bringing this out, and he keeps coming against Mary and Jeannie and Trish. So listen to this.
And it just continues on. It's just
yeah,
like,
Miss Daisy.
Instead of, focusing on Summer's case, they're bringing it out.
Oh, really?
Just to be able
You're
to
not
attack
focusing.
you and bring you down. But you've not told your side of the story because you have integrity and you feel like, they're innocent at all.
Like I said, I don't really want to attack, but
No.
the thing of it is, a lot of us kids were in a situation where we really couldn't finish school. A lot of us, I quit school at a very young age. I got my first job at $2 an hour washing dishes in a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, you were
I didn't have nothing. I felt like I had to
in juvenile.
myself the best I could, and I thought that was the right thing to do,
Uh-huh.
But I didn't have nobody helping me with my schoolwork and drilling me, saying, "Look, you need to." I had nobody help me.
Drilling him.
And I was way behind in school. There's no way I could catch up. And
blame it on somebody else. Here's some more blame.
Drop out and get
more blame.
We've all had that,
Right, yeah, everybody goes through this
You
kind
don't have a lot of guidance at home and people to lead you in the right direction. Or if you're living in
That doesn't mean we can't
chaos
finish school.
and you don't know the normal
I'm not
life
judging
is,
anyone, but
Well, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, I don't want to. All of us, we're in a rough situation. There's a lot of kids together and a lot of games being played, mental in every way. My real sisters are very hurt, especially my youngest sister. She's is hurt so bad because she was just shoved to the sidelines. She didn't get any help in school. She didn't get any help in any way that she needed help. She went through pure hell, and she is so hurt still today. She can't hardly talk about it. She'll just break down and start crying. She was just completely forgotten about and run over by. I'm not trying. I don't want to come out here and put people down. I don't want to put down my stepsisters, but they're forcing my hand. They're
forcing his hand.
Forcing me to fight back. I'm not going to allow them to tear me and my wife's good nature apart. When we love our kids, we have a good family. We loved each other very much, and this is just complete nonsense. It's
so many things are twisted around.
It's not our fault someone creeped up here and stole our daughter. That's not our fault.
No, it's not.
And I'm not going to allow them to put that on us.
Okay.
I don't blame you, Don.
But I wanted to bring out one of Mary's lies.
Why don't you prove he didn't?
I was standing on the corner selling my kids, trying to sell my kids and selling them for drugs. My daughter went on live with White Boy's wife and cleared that up.
Bull crap.
Well, I happen to know your daughter loves you very much, Don.
Right.
I was talking to Candace in Arkansas, I seen thank you, Blind Screen Dennis. Thank you so much for that. I seen you went up there and combed her hair for her and everything when she couldn't even comb her own hair. It was good to her and her kids as well.
Wow.
Thank
But
you, Blind Screen.
couple things I'd like to bring up, and I realize that
Can't believe
we were all kids.
he has
My step
grandkids.
family, they were a bit older
I'd be
than us kids
scared
were on
to
my
have
dad's
them
side. Me and my sisters, we were somewhat
around.
younger, and um, except for my stepsister Jeannie, she was younger than all of us, I guess. Um, But I'd like to bring up some of the things that Mary don't want to talk about. She wants to talk about me on and on and on and keep bringing up new allegations and try to make it seem like I've done all these sick, demented things to my kids. And I'd like to say, you know what? My boys have talked with TBI. Do you not think, you idiots, that if I had done something so devious, such a things that these sick morons bring up day after day, because that's all they can think in their sick minds is all this sicko stuff day after day. That's all they can think up in their head. Really weird. But my boys, I'm sure, talking to specialists with TBI, would have told them if anything like this would have ever happened. And I'd be in jail. I'd be on my way to prison.
First of all, you don't know what your boys told TBI. They're not going to tell you what they told TBI. I think you wanted to know, and that's why you were trying to sneak around and talk to your son, Don, because you wanted to know what they said to TBI. But just because, and I will remind everyone, Don seems to think that just because he hasn't been arrested for anything or child abuse, that nothing's going to happen. I have seen cases. Matter of fact, I just watched a case where it took him 5 years going back and forth to the grand jury, the police, to try to they took 5 years to get all the information to do this investigation on another case. So before they arrested the person, there's people still waiting to be arrested that are still being investigated. So don't think that just because they're walking around, Don and Candace, that they won't get in trouble for something, because that baby was on their watch and it's their responsibility. It doesn't matter. And they're not going to get away free and clear, even though they think so. So let's finish listening to this part.
Guaranteed. These people ain't dumb. With TBI, law enforcement, people think they ain't doing their job, this, that, and the other. Believe me, they're not stupid.
Yeah.
You're not going to pull the wool over their
No,
eyes.
you're not, Don.
Absolutely not, Tom.
Hell no. But, people like Chris McDonough and the lab and all these hate YouTube channels keep using Mary over and over, and it's wrong what they're doing. It's so wrong.
See how that bothers
But if they
him.
want, stuff to talk about, I would like to. And like I said, I tried and tried. I feel like my hand is forced at this time.
Yeah.
I would like to know why Mary doesn't want to talk about the fact that her husband raped my 11-year-old sister. Why doesn't she want to talk about that? I tried talking to her on the phone about it the other day, and, it's really, really odd the way it all went down. It's like all of a sudden they weren't together, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, like they made up some weird stuff, but when he had the chance to get my sister cornered, he raped her. I walked in on him, and I wasn't sure what was going on because I was looking for my sister. We were over at some other people's house, and I guess I'll mention his name while I'm live. Russ Hartman, that would be Mary's husband. Russell Hartman raped my sister, Okay, because I was there. I walked in on it.
How old was your sister, Don?
11. I was like 13. I think I was 13, and I remember walking home because we was young kids. We were walking home, and I asked her what. I tried to ask her what was going on, but it was so awkward and everything, and she did not want to talk about it. She did not want to talk about it. But it's real funny, after this happened, Russell Hartman and Mary Hartman got back together. All of a sudden, it's like Mary was like involved in it somehow. Is my point of view. I mean, this is the kind of conniving stuff.
Talk to her about this one? Is she
Do
aware?
what?
Is Mary aware that this happened?
Oh, I tried to make her aware of it and talk to her about it. I said, why don't you want to talk about that? Or why don't you want to talk about JLR? Why don't we want to talk about JLR, who molested my daughter? Why doesn't she want to talk about this?
Who?
So, if this were true, and I'm not saying it's not, maybe this did happen, but from what I understand, Mary said her boyfriend at the time, they were little, they were young, like 13 and 14 years old. And I don't believe this Don's sister was 11 at the time. I thought she was like 12 or 13. And they were like dating, and then they broke up, and then Mary got with him. So I'm not really clear on the whole story, but the point is, if that really happened, Don, then why didn't you call the police? Why didn't your sister press charges? You're full of crap. Your sister didn't even want to tell you that. So this is something you wanted to talk about in your own mind. But this is revenge, and you can hear that, but let's finish a little bit more.
That would be her sister's son.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. I didn't know who you said.
Yeah, she don't want to talk about that, her molesting. And, when I did try to talk to Mary about my sister being raped, you know what she says? Oh, well, they were going out then. And I'm saying, so I'm saying your full-grown husband was going out with my 11-year-old
not full-grown
sister, huh?
No.
And she's like, well, yes, she don't want to talk about any of her side of the family and all these, whatever.
What your sister told you that when you asked her about it, or she volunteered that to you?
She says, oh, well, they were going out then, is what she told me.
No, I mean your young sister.
Okay.
He told you
She didn't want to talk about it, but here about a year ago, I asked her about it again, and she says, that motherfucker raped me.
Well, then you should have went to the police.
Wow.
And she begged me not to say anything about it or anything else. I don't want to start no trouble, but Mary is forcing my hand.
Yeah.
Chris McDonough and all the sicko sons of bitches. The laugh.
The sicko sons of bitches, like when you talked about your own daughter, you gave her props for getting raped. You gave her props that she didn't go around whining like a little baby, and she took it, took it like a woman, She didn't act like a sissy about it. You gave her props for that, cheered her on. You've talked disgusting, and it sounds like, Don, the only thing you're really proving to anybody by this is that this whole family then are sexual predators, and you're one of them, Don. And so, the chances of that, like you want to say, statistically speaking, like you like to say, Don, statistically speaking, usually if there is SA going on in the home, it goes throughout the generations and families. So that means it's probably in yours too, in your children. So
That's all they want is sicko stuff to talk about.
Sicko stuff, like you talk about.
Because they got sick minds themselves.
How about when you say about your daughter, this wasn't even long after Summer went missing. He says, I know where she's is. She's in some effing motel room screwing some mother effer for a little bit of cocaine. That's how you talked about your daughter, Don. And you're going to say other people are sickos. The way they talk, no, you talk like that. You bring up this kind of stuff. You're the one who told us that you sleep naked and you showered with your daughter. She's 5 years old. She went missing. Jeannie was 5 when she started getting molested, and that's why she called TBI, because she was concerned that it could have something to do with Summer's disappearance. So, you want to just accuse people, Don. I hope that Mary does something about this.
That's all I guess that's what they think about day after day is all this sick stuff.
Yeah,
and try to
Don.
put a
That's all
jacket
you
on
talk
other
about.
people or whatever. Just so they can have some sicko stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty disgusting of these YouTube channels.
Oh, really?
Chris McDonough, the things that he's done. And why is he always going after young little boys? Does he have some kind of fetish? Like get this little 14-year-old boy locked up? I mean, what's he thinking?
You know, he can't think
He's always going after innocent boys. Like, what is his deal?
Let me clear this up. Don's talking about some kind of trial that Chris was involved in, and Don thought it was terrible the way that Chris treated this 14-year-old who was on trial. Well, Don, if this is all you got, well then big deal. I mean, Chris has done nothing to you, really. He's done nothing wrong to you, and he was wanting to help you, but you refused the help, you and Candace. He even wanted to get you involved with the Cold Case Foundation, and you refused. Remember, do not forget, Don and Candace, I will say it again, have lost 7 children to the state, maybe 8 as far as we know, and their little girl's missing. Okay, let's keep going.
I don't know.
I wonder why he just continues on bringing this situation into Summer's case, which has nothing to do with Summer's case.
They've completely destroyed what we was trying to do, and we was just trying to get Summer's picture out there. And then when Trish Nelson said that I raped her for 7 years,
That's a lie.
Blew up the internet. We had people. That's what caused all these people to come to my house. These psychics.
That's not what caused anyone to come to his house. The only people that came to his house was one psychic, and it wasn't because of SA. She wanted to try to help Don and Candace find Summer. And the other people who came there, you can call them a mob if you want, but it was JLR and Molly Golightly and Bullhorn Betty. And let me remind you, Don invited them to talk and to come search. And then he didn't like it when he blew them off and he wouldn't talk to them and he played games. So they went to his work and they went in front of his house because he did that to them. So I didn't think it was right what they did, yelling at his job. Nobody encouraged that. They did that on their own. So, but it had nothing to do with Jeannie or Trish or any of them. So don't buy his bull crap.
All this crazy stuff all over YouTube was because of my stepsisters and their crap and their bullshit and their lies.
It totally clouded the case. It made people
Oh, right, Daisy.
Instead of in other places.
They've done they were very successful in doing a lot of damage to my family. Congratulations.
Yeah. You did your own damage, Don.
With their lies and their bullshit.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through all this, John. And
well, it's the world, and then
go ahead.
And then I feel like Mary is just really after. I don't know why she turned on me like she did. Because at first she was totally on my side.
Yeah, right.
She'd say I'll never do something like that or whatever, and then all of a sudden she just turned on me. I guess at the time Chris McDonough got involved, kind of thing. I don't know exactly. I can't.
Well, she does have a channel to promote, so
Well, right. Yeah,
that has anything to do with it or not. Just allegedly, I mean, in my opinion, there was a lot of promoting of that, which I think should have not clouded Summer's case at all. I, in my opinion, you all
Jealous.
opened your house up to Chris,
We
and
did in the hopes, and normally I wouldn't want people to see my house and some of the pictures we put out there and everything else. Any normal person would not share all their pictures with the world. But the reason we did that was to try to help Summer
Sure.
get out. We wanted people to see even all the nasty pictures and everything possible. I mean, everybody's got nasty pictures of their kids that they love.
No. Everybody doesn't have nasty pictures of their kids. I didn't let my kids walk around with filthy, dirty faces, uncombed hair, looking terrible, bruises all over them, looking skinny, dirty. Never did stuff like that. I didn't have nasty pictures like that. So, of my children. So I don't know why he thinks that's okay, but it's not.
But they wouldn't go share with the world. But
yeah,
we've done that in the hopes of helping find our daughter because we don't know, we don't know if she's being raped every day of her life,
Wow.
beat every day of her life, or is already hit.
Who talks like this about their daughter? We don't know if she's being raped every day and being beaten. Why would your mind go there? You deflect a lot. You project all these things onto other people, Don. And your mind is the sick mind. You talk sick. And you're talking sick about your own child, a little 5-year-old baby girl. And I couldn't go there. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he probably knows what happened to her. Sorry.
Or we don't know what she's going through.
Yeah.
well, you have to trust God on that one. We talked about that earlier, Donna.
We have to trust God for our own salvation. Yes.
I know that you've
listen. We have to trust God for our own salvation. We don't have to trust God to find Summer or to make sure she comes back alive. No, everyone. We have to trust what he just said. Let's back it up. In our salvation.
Well, you have to trust God on that one. We talked about that earlier, Donna.
We have to trust God for our own salvation. Yes.
Not about Summer.
You've had a rough past. I know that
makes me sick.
Happened to you, and I feel like that a little bit of that post-traumatic stress from all that is making you think the worst about Summer.
And they don't take kids to take them to Disneyland or whatever. I mean, statistically speaking, this is not good. Whoever took her, they didn't take her for good reasons. They took her to harm her, whether sexually or whatever. There is no good reason to take a kid from their loving.
What if she's lost?
Any moron.
What if she fell in a hole somewhere?
We were very happy together. Somebody done this out of hate for us, or they were sexually deviant, or they were on drugs.
Wow.
We don't know.
You mean all your friends? Maybe one of your friends?
We just pray that
it should be about Summer. It shouldn't be about Mary and Chris McDonough and how great of detectives they are and all that, and trying to, and ruining, and to promote their channel, ruin people like me and Candace. That is the most disgusting thing you could do. Bearing false witness, straight against the 10th
You just did that to Mary.
Straight against God in building your channel. Congratulations. Congratulations, you morons.
Shout out to Blank Screen. She said 650 people in chat. Probably 5 are in the bushes. Cough cup, pearls, cough cup. Blank. The rest of us, we support you. Thank you, Blank Screen.
I appreciate that.
I do want to say this. If Mary was aware of all these skeletons that she was aware of happened to not only your daughter,
right,
your baby sister,
yeah,
but she wants to come out at you about that, but didn't want to mention that. That was not fair. That's not fair.
I think we need to talk about Russell Hartman raping my sister. You know, he was over, I don't know how old he was. He had, a real nice car and everything. I think we should talk about her son, too. Let's talk about Mary's son. Well, that would be a good one to talk about.
I didn't know if you want to share that or.
Not at this time. I'm not going to bring
You
that
already
up at this
did.
time. I mean, and then we could, of course, go on and make up a bunch of lies like they do and stretch the truth and everything else. Oh my gosh, we could go on and on and on.
So, first, you guys, he says it was a lie, and then he admits to doing it, that Jeannie and these people come on to him, and that he was just a kid, and now it's all just lies. He didn't do any of that, and everybody else is making him look bad. It really, really makes me sick. And I recommend, if you have not gone over and listened to this, I don't know how long it will be on, up on her channel, Summer Wells. Dawn joins me on panel. I don't even know why she put Summer Wells' name in the chat, because she doesn't talk about her. She does not talk about Summer Wells. She's here giving a platform to Dawn to take revenge out on the victim, which is further victimization. I really hope that he can't get in trouble for what he did to Jeannie and the rest of them. But at this point, that doesn't really matter. I hope he gets in trouble for what he did to his children. And he can say that he was this great parent, and Candace can say that she was a great parent. But I'm sorry, witnesses have said different. Tons of people have come out and talked about how bad parents these were, how they were always partying, using. Don's been a user for a long time. He was shooting heroin up back then. I don't know. He could still be shooting that up. He has track marks all over his legs. Chris McDonough knows. In arms. I think that's what he was doing when they did the video and he was taking a crap on live TV. I think he was shooting up. I really do. And I think that, and Mary has talked about him shooting up. She found all kinds of needles of his that he left in a camper before on the property when he was living in it. They were probably using down at Fred's from what it looks like. And that's probably why they went back and forth down there. Maybe Fred don't want to be involved in this. But I think that they were all using on that hill. Jody Sue's old man, probably Jody Sue. I don't trust Jody Sue or her husband or her son. I think that he was running around in the woods out there. We don't know. Maybe somebody did take somebody else other than Don and Candace took Summer Wells. But I'm sorry, it wasn't in 2 minutes, so they better change their story. They better come up with a better one, you guys, because children don't go missing in 2 minutes with not only 3 boys in the house, but a grandma and a mother and about 12 to 20 dogs on the property. I'm sorry. That doesn't happen. And maybe she was gone for way longer. Maybe Candace came home, dropped the kids off, left Summer there alone. Maybe Summer was drugged up in the back of that vehicle. I always felt she was propped, that either she was deceased or she was drugged to be transported to another location. And that's why that picture was taken as like a proof of life. And that's why she was dressed in those clothes. That's why everything happened the way that it did that day. They planned this whole thing out. Don took the vehicle, which is weird because he would not admit that he took it on the 15th. He would only admit that he drove it the day before. So that's very strange to me. I think Hunter knows more to this story. I think Candace and Don, though they want to defend their reputation, they have a terrible reputation that they've created on their own. They have long criminal histories. And you know, I was reading and I've been watching a lot of different crime documentaries, and people who have a habit, who start out young and are breaking and entering and doing crimes like that, and burglary and violence and selling drugs and stuff like that. It leads up to something. And a lot of serial killers, a lot of serial rapists and child killers have passed like this. That they've been derelicts from the time they were young, in and out of jail, and it always escalates into something. And it sounds like Don had a very sexual incest family, and he can say all he wants, but that repeats through the generations. You can look it up. That's the truth statistically, like Don likes to say. But that runs through generations, and that is the truth. That is a learned behavior. You don't just go molesting somebody because you feel sexually. No, you learn that at a young age from someone. And so, either Don was molested when he was a child. I believe Candace was. I believe that whole family is, it's got this going on. But you know what? I care about Mary and Jeannie, and I think it's wrong what Don is doing. I understand that, he's just trying to get back because Mary said things about him, but there's a little girl missing, Summer Wells, Don Wells' daughter. She's missing. She's only 5. She's been missing for 2 years out there somewhere, and he doesn't seem to care except for about what people think about him. That's all Don and Candace have ever seemed to care about, is what people think about him. All their interviews. Well, Donnie's a good father. We love our kids with all we have. And blah, 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 blah. I watched her go into the house. Crap, Candace. You're not a helicopter mom. We know that. We know that neither you nor Don were very good parents, or you wouldn't have lost your children. And you don't want to show us why you lost your children. You don't want to prove to us how you're good parents. You only want to defend when people accuse you of things. And I guess that's normal. But he just seems to want to bring this up over and over again. And I wanted to show you a different video tonight, but there's no way. This video's going long already. But I'm just really disgusted, Miss Daisy, with you. I cannot believe that you would give a platform to Don to accuse a victim. I hope you get in trouble too for this. And I hope that, something can be done, because this is really quite sickening. And I cannot wait. Because I know in my heart that Don and Candace will be arrested. That we'll get to watch that. We'll get to watch them in court. We'll get to see everything, and it will all be exposed in trial. All the abuse, everything they ever did. So Don just better face the fact that his whole world's about to be exposed, and so is Candace when they go to trial. So, these are just my opinions, but I truly believe that. And I can't wait for justice for Summer Wells. I'd like to see that happen. It really breaks my heart. I pray all the time that someone will find her. Anyone will find her. However that looks. And most of the time I do not want to know what happened this summer. You know, because I don't think it's good either. But I'm not going around telling everybody that I think she's in some motel room. No. They could have sold her. And, you know, why would Mary and Jeannie and the whole family bring this up? That he tried to sell his younger kids. You know, it makes no sense to me. But, you know, you can believe who you want. You can believe Don, or you can believe Mary and Jeannie and Trish and Rhonda and all his victims. It's up to you. I can't tell you what to believe. But I do not defend these parents because there's some really bad things that happen with them kids. And otherwise, they would still be in their custody. So, but yeah, it's all going to come out in the wash, and we're all going to know what happened, and it won't be long. So, with that, I will do another video in a couple days. Maybe it'll be a part 2 of this because I want to talk about some things with Mary. But I appreciate all of you hanging around. I love you guys. I hope you have a rest of a good week, a good weekend. God bless you, and don't stop praying for Summer Wells. And don't get caught up in the drama. People just like to fight with each other, and I don't understand. We are here for Summer Wells, and that's who we want to talk about. I believe that she's somewhere. Summer Wells is somewhere where Don and Candace put her. That's my opinion. My opinion only. So everyone have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Good night. Bye.